Hi, I'm Annapolis Mayor Josh Cohen with your monthly video update for November 2011. In this month's update, I want to cover just a few items. One is about sidewalks and who's going to pay for repairing them. Another item is the market house, and another item is just a few holiday announcements. So, first item, the sidewalks. The city's sidewalks combined are about a $22 million long-term liability. A lot of them are in a state of disrepair now, and if we're to replace them, the city should have about $500,000 a year in order to have a good replacement schedule and stay on top of it, because sidewalks have a replacement life of about 40 years. So if we replace 1/40 of the sidewalks each year, then it comes to a little over $500,000. Problem is, right now the city has no dedicated revenue stream to pay for that, and $500,000 is a lot of money, particularly in these times. Just a brief background, up until a few years ago, the responsibility to repair sidewalks as well as the liability rested on the private property owner who abutted the sidewalk. A few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, the city took that responsibility on, and at the same time created a sidewalk fee to provide the city with the revenue stream it needed to cover the liability. Problem was there was not a lot of outreach done. There was a big public outcry when people received this $25 bill in their mailbox, and the city council repealed the fee. So the city was left with the responsibility and the liability, but no funding stream to stay on top of it. So what we're faced with is the need to get closure one way or the other. And the two choices really are the property owner can get the responsibility and the liability back and not worry about having to pay the city to maintain the sidewalks, or if the city holds on to the responsibility and the liability, then we do need some sort of revenue stream so we can stay on top of it, because otherwise it's just bad governance where we have this responsibility to maintain a public asset without the money to do it, and it'll just deteriorate and become a huge crisis later, which is not the type of government that I want for myself as a citizen and taxpayer here. So on Monday, the 28th of November, there's going to be a public hearing on a bill I introduced that would put the responsibility for sidewalk repair back on the private property owner. It's not a popular thing to do, I know, and frankly, I think there's a lot of merit for the public responsibility to rest with the city government. But what I'm trying to do is be responsible, and even though a lot of politicians like telling voters they can have the moon and the stars and not have to pay for it, the reality is that's not the case. And so if the city is going to hold on to the responsibility, we need to figure out some sort of funding stream to help cover it. So the public hearing is this Monday, the 28th. I encourage you, if you have a position, to please come out and speak to it, and really speak to the two options. Whether you want the city to continue to have the responsibility and you're willing to pay some sort of fee to provide the revenue stream to the city to maintain it, or you think it should rest back with the private property owner, which is frankly where the way it is in a lot of jurisdictions. Just also on the public hearing for the 28th are two reports that the City Council is going to receive from two citizen committees, one of which is the Charter Revision Commission that is appointed every 10 years to review the city charter and recommend any changes. They're presenting their report. The other is the Ward Boundary Commission. Again, every 10 years after the decennial census, we appoint a Ward Boundary Commission, and this commission is presenting its report and recommended changes to the 8 ward boundaries. So that's all on Monday, November 28th. New topic is the market house. Earlier this month, the City Council took action to move forward on the market house. The current iteration with the vendors was always intended as a short-term, 6-month solution just to prevent the market house from staying vacant another summer and to get some activity in there. But we all recognize that it's not a long-term solution. So this past week, the City Council acted on an ordinance I'd introduced that accomplishes several things. One, is it authorizes the Public Works Director to solicit bids for a manager or a management company for the market house. This time, instead of only limiting the vendors to 6-month leases, we're going to allow the administration to execute leases up to 5 years. And really, it's for the benefit of the city as well as the vendors, because the vendors, if they're going to invest substantial money into the market house, they need a long-term commitment from the city, and vice versa. The city needs vendors in there who have a long-term commitment to weather the ups and downs of the tourist season and are in it for the long haul. So I'm thrilled that the City Council has taken action, authorized the administration to move forward, and also what the City Council did is it put to bed the notion of selling the market house or just giving up on it. The City Council reaffirmed that the market house is an historic public structure. It has an historic role as a community gathering place, and it is the city's responsibility to maintain the structure of the market house, which we've had for over 200 years. And so that's been a debate that's gone on and off. Like I said, I don't think the city should give up on the market house. It has a unique and authentic role that no newly built town center can have. The market house is the real thing. And even though times change and we're never going to have the true produce market like it was, 40 or 50 years ago, it still has an important role to play, not just in our economy, but for our community. So I'm looking forward to finally being able to turn the page on a new chapter for 5 years, for the next 5 years. Finally, just a couple holiday-related announcements. If you check our website, annapolis.gov, you'll see information about a lot of upcoming holiday-related events, the Midnight Madnesses and the 11th hour that the Annapolis Business Association sponsors next month. I'm going to be hosting the annual City Hall Holiday Open House before the first Midnight Madness. The annual grand illumination of the Annapolis Christmas tree is going to be on Sunday after Thanksgiving, hosted by the Annapolis JCs. The lighting will be at roughly 7 o'clock, but you can come down beforehand at 5:30 with a performance by the Chesapeake Ballet Company. And finally, as the city does or has done every year as long as I can remember, we're going to put bags over the parking meters the day after Thanksgiving and keep free metered parking downtown through New Year's, and we're also going to have free rides on our circulator trolley. So that is the update for November. We have this looming liability about sidewalks, responsibility and liability and funding that we need to make a decision on, and the City Council is engaged in that issue right now. There's a public hearing on the 28th. The City Council has taken action to move forward on the market house, and the holidays are around the corner. There are a number of events coming up. It is always a great time for locals to rediscover downtown and our Main Street business districts, whether downtown, Maryland Avenue, West Street, West Annapolis, Eastport. And I want to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving, and I will be back for the monthly update in December. As always, you can reach me in the mayor's office at 410-263-7997. You can email mayor@annapolis.gov, and you can go to my blog, mayorcohen.com, and leave a comment. Thank you for watching.